The Western world often views war through the lens of shock and awe, massive carrier groups, precision airstrikes, and rapid regime change. But if you want to understand why a war with Iran is the ultimate unwinnable scenario, you have to look at the dirt. Iran is a natural fortress. Bordered by the Zagros Mountains to the west and the Alborz to the north, it is a land of high-altitude salt deserts and jagged peaks. In military terms, this is high ground on a national scale. Any invading force would face a logistical nightmare that makes the mountains of Afghanistan look like foothills. But Iran's true defense isn't just rock and sand. It's a psychological doctrine born from the 1980s Iran-Iraq War. Having been isolated and attacked, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, developed the Mosaic Doctrine. They realized they couldn't match the US in a fair fight, so they decided never to fight fairly. The US military relies on power projection, the ability to move a massive force to a distant theater. Iran's counter-strategy is forward defense. Why fight a war in Tehran when you can fight it in Beirut, Sana'a, or Baghdad? This is the axis of resistance. We aren't just talking about ragtag militias. We are talking about Hezbollah, which possesses more rockets than most European nations. We are talking about the Houthis, who have effectively shut down Red Sea shipping with $15,000 drones. This creates a strategic dilemma for US planners. If the US strikes Iran directly, these proxies have orders to activate. Suddenly, thousands of precision-guided rockets rain down on Haifa. US bases in Iraq are swarmed by suicide drones, and the oil fields of America's allies are set ablaze. To win against Iran, the US would have to fight 5 wars simultaneously across 4 different countries.
The most dangerous 21 miles on Earth is the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 20% of the world's petroleum passes through this narrow neck of water every single day. Iran's navy is intentionally small. They don't have supercarriers. They have thousands of fast attack craft FACs. Imagine a swarm of 50 speedboats, each equipped with Chinese-designed C-802 anti-ship missiles, charging a US destroyer. The destroyer's Aegis system is world-class, but it can only track so many targets at once. Then there is the silent killer, naval mines. Iran has one of the largest stockpiles of smart mines in the world. If they cede the strait, it could take the US Navy months to clear it. In those months, the global price of oil wouldn't just go up, it would skyrocket. We are talking about $200, $300 a barrel. The US might win the naval skirmish, but the resulting global economic depression would lose them the war at home. For decades, the US held the technological overmatch. If you had the best jets, you won. But the Shahed 136 changed everything. This flying lawnmower costs less than a used Toyota Camry. Iran has realized that a $20,000 drone doesn't need to destroy a $100 million F-35 in the air. It just needs to hit the F-35 while it's parked on the tarmac in Qatar or the UAE. This is asymmetrical math. If Iran can trade 100 drones for 1 Patriot battery, they are winning the economic war of attrition. Furthermore, Iran's underground missile cities, tunnels carved deep into mountains, mean that their retaliatory capability is almost impossible to wipe out with a first strike. They have second strike capability, meaning no matter how hard the US hits, the return fire is guaranteed. Finally, we have to talk about the exit strategy. The US has a history of winning the invasion, but losing the occupation. Iran has a population of 88 million people, more than Iraq and Afghanistan combined. It is a highly educated nationalist population. An invasion of Iran would require a draft and a mobilization of the US economy not seen since World War II. The win condition for the US is vague. Regime change? Denuclearization? In contrast, the win condition for Iran is simple: survival. As the saying goes, the Americans have the watches, but the insurgents have the time. Iran's strategy is built on the belief that the American public has no appetite for another forever war that costs trillions of dollars and tens of thousands of lives. Iran's strategy is exposed not as a plan to defeat the US military, but as a plan to make the cost of victory so high that no rational leader would ever pay it.